Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Muhammad Hafiizhullah Syuib. My ID number is 2019405458. My proposal is about the nitrobacter HS biofertilizer converter. So, we will be presented by me, and my proposal is supervised by Dr. Shariza Hassan. Right now, we are looking the overview. The major section in this thesis oral presentation is divided to six, which is introduction, literature review, methodology, result, conclusion and recommendation, and reference. Okay, for the introduction, the background study is soil fertility. Soil fertility is a soil ability to support the agriculture, plant growth, like to provide a plant habitat and a result in a consistent in the high qualities of yields. There are nitrogen cycle which is happen in the soil that help to maintain the soil fertility. In other words, help plant growth development. The nitrobacter shine as a rhizobium and bradyrhizobium is very function in a nitrogen fixation, which is nitrogen cycle in the soil, while the nitrobacter are usually located on the pinnate nodule roots. Okay, in the problem statement of this thesis, I stated the several problem statement, which is the climate changes in Malaysia will affect the soil and then the plant growth development. And second, the soil pH is uncertain due to the topography, geography of the land in the Malaysia. Then the crop production of the plant is low in the quality and the quantity term, which is mean the plant is unable to produce more of the output, or the crop is less quality than we are targeted to. So, in my thesis, there are research objective and hypothesis. For the objective, we want to isolate the nitrobacter from the roots or nodules of the peanut plant, and from the extraction or the isolation of the nitrobacter from the peanut plant, we are going to create the nitrobacter biofertilizer, which is our main proposal to do the project. Then evaluate the effectiveness of the nitrobacter biofertilizer on a plant and a soil fertility. So my hypothesis is about nitrobacter isolate from the nodule root is able to use to control the nitrogen fixation or to control in the nitrogen cycle. The nitrobacter based solution also can fertilize the soil medium and help plant growth, and also to maintain the soil pH to the optimal state. So next is about a literature review. Okay. Literature review are divided for several sections, which is the first section is about the nitrobacter. From the surgeon Winogradsky at the last 1890, he stated that nitrobacter defined as a bacteria that produce nitrate from the nitrate. Surgeon Winogradsky is the first person that meet the nitrobacter in the peanut plant. So like the other plant, they also have a root peanut plant, which is a nodus root that form a symbiosis with a nitrogen fixing bacteria. So under the circumstance of a nitrogen limiting condition, the plant is capable form a symbiotic relationship with a host specific strain of bacteria, which we also know as a rhizobia. The nitrobacter also in the morphology is a rod-shaped chemo, chemoautotrophic bacteria, and a gram-negative type. The second is about the soil. Fertilizers are created to supply the element which is required to plant growth development. The water account for approximately plus weight is a 90%. The remaining mass is the plant dry weight, which is primary, primarily composed of 17 elements required for the plant growth. So to define the sum term, the 17 element required is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, ferrum, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, chlorine, and the nickel, which is the element by the Robert Stewart on the 2022. Okay, the third one is the nitrogen cycle. By the Syuib Carroll 2004, the majority of the Earth's component is at 78% is composed of atmosphere nitrogen, making it as a primary source of the nitrogen. Gallery J.N. et al. 2004 stated that the availability at the atmosphere nitrogen for biological utilization is a very limited, and it will resulting in a scarcity of a usable nitrogen in many ecosystems. They also stated that particularly interested in the nitrogen cycle because they think that the nitrogen availability can alter the rate of important ecosystem processes like primary production and the breakdown. In the global, nitrogen cycle has been drastically affected by human activities like combustion of fossil fuels, the use of artificial nitrogen fertilizer, and the release of the nitrogen in the wastewater. The literature review for bacterial isolation method, which is the main of our method to isolate the bacteria, which is the nitrobacter from the peanut plant, stated that the technique stated by the G.W. Gold on the 1959, the technique of a continuous culture is defined by the fact growth occurs in steady state environment. The bacterial growth occurs at a set rate determined by the experimenter, which is the researcher, in a set environment that researcher may regulate to some extent. pH, ionic strength of the medium, and other variables can all maintain the steady rate conditions. So, in my thesis, there are several methods involved to succeed the project. So for the methodology, there are several, which is to the extraction of the nitrobacter from the peanut nodus root by the using saucer extraction method. So as you can see, this is the picture of the saucer extraction apparatus. So after after the extraction, the sample of the extraction, which is we assume as the nitrobacter collected, we are going to transform the you are going to culture it in the soil nutrient agar. Then the transformation from the agar culture into the broth culture by using the soil nutrient broth to transform the bacteria culture from the solid state to the solution condition. Then the third method is the diffusion of a calcium carbonate and nitrobacter solution to increase the effectiveness upon the plant test that we are going to do after later. Then the last method is to observe the result if of course we are going to test on the okra plant which we choose because of its a short period of growth development. Okay, as you can see, this is the result of the nitrate bacter solution. Then a nitrate bacter fused with a calcium carbonate solution. We are, sorry, I'm doing the two type of solution to test the effectiveness between the nitrobacter and the modified nitrobacter solution, so that we can observe the data and we can make the analysis. This is the result of the sample that test by the several subject, which is A, we are let the okra plant grow normally. B, we are testing with the nitrobacter only. And C, we are putting the calcium carbonate on the soil beside the okra plant. And D, we are using the modified nitrobacter, which is nitrobacter fused with the calcium carbonate solution. This is the okra plant leaf area measurement and the okra plant stem diameter measurement from time to time, from week to week. The conclusion is the nitrobacter fertilizer project was successful, and the primary goal, the objective, and the hypothesis of the research was met the expectation. The modified nitrobacter solution give a positive impact like the okra plant growth of development, the size of diameter, the area of the leaf, and the pH optimum soil. So for the recommendation, as I did the proposal, I have already facing the several problem, which is the lack of material, the short period experimental period, and the tools condition like autoclave and other machine which is outdated from the uh, use date. Those true problem will end up with an inaccurate data, and the analysis become uncertainty. So for the recommendation is to collect the material enough before the proposal of project started or began. So and manage the timetable or the Gantt chart to organize the experimental period time and the writing report, and complain or find another autoclave or other machine that outdated, so that the accurate data is achieved. Okay, this is the 5 out of 20 references that I refer to done the project and the proposal. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your attention and lending me your ears.